Hello, hello, hello everybody. So I have a very fun tutorial for you. Today I'm using the La La Land Crafts Traveling Cats stamp set. And we are going to make this triple fold card. So I've got a lot of dies going on. This is one that I made for my mother-in-law. And you lift it up. And then it opens this way, and then it opens this way, and you can write all of your stuff in here. So, and I've got the little traveling cat here. I've got the hello die. And then we've got some photo elements going on, the camera die, and another one. This is so cute. My mother-in-law's favorite colors are black, yellow, and she, loves to take photos, and she's always traveling out to see us, and we haven't got to see her since COVID started. So I thought this would be a fun little card for her. So this is what we're going to be making, and I'm going to be using these 3 travel cats as an encouragement card for my son. So I'm going to go ahead and put these aside. And I will put these little guys up here. So we're going to need some different pieces. And I'm going to go ahead and show you those now. So we're going to need a piece of 12 by 12 cardstock. Okay. And my patterned paper. And this one piece of white paper. These are 3 5/8 by 3 5/8. So you'll need one that's white to go where you want to write at. And then you'll need 2 that are patterned, or you can just have white, whatever you want. And then I've got, these are some background layers for these pieces. And these are 3 3/4 by 3 3/4. Let me move these dies out of the way. These are dies we're going to be using, and I will tell you about those in a minute. So these 4 pieces here, these ones are 3 5/8 by 1 5/8, and they are the layers to go on top of these. These are those background layers, and these are 3 3/4 by 1 3/4. And don't worry, I will have all of this down in the description below, and it should be right over to the side over here. So let's go ahead and get started. The first thing you're going to need is our scoreboard. Let me grab mine. And we're going to score our 12 by 12 piece of cardstock. Oh, here it is. I almost couldn't find my stylus. So we are going to score this at, and it doesn't matter what side because they're both the same. So we're going to score this at 2. Whoops. We're going to score this at 4. Okay. We're going to score this at 8. And I usually do mine twice just to make sure it's nice and scored. And then we're going to also score it at 10. So as soon as we get this scored, we're going to turn it to the right. Okay, we're going to rotate it clockwise. And we're going to score this at 4. And we're going to score this at 8. So the first time you score, it's going to be at 2, 4, 8, and 10. And then you're going to rotate it to the right, and you're going to score at 4 and at 8. So now that we're done with that, and we have no more scoring, we can go ahead and put our scoreboard away. Now I'm going to go ahead and fold these right now just so that you can because the white on the grid paper is sometimes hard to see. So I'm going to fold these so you can see exactly what I'm doing. So what we're going to do is we have our middle section, and these are the sections we want to keep, and we want to keep these two right here. So we're going to cut out these 4 corners right here. So just cut when we set it up, it should look just like this, but we still don't need these two, so I'm going to go ahead and cut these two off as well. And there is our card base. Isn't that awesome? So I'm going to go around and I'm just going to burnish these down so that they stay real nice. And I'm actually going to fold it up just the way it should fold. That way I can really get them to stay the way they're supposed to. Flip this over and do it from both sides. And then this piece will go this way. Again, both sides. Now, the way that I made this part here, this little flap, because as you can see it is attached and I didn't attach it with anything else, is I ran it through my Big Shot, and I'm going to show you how to do that right now. So let me grab my Big Shot. And I usually use a crossover, but since I'm doing a video, my crossover is not going to fit in this video. So I am just using my Big Shot that I keep handy. So what I have is I've got the Scalloped Rectangle Die, and I'm going to stick that this way. Or actually on here I can stick it this way. So I'm going to pull this out, and I don't want it to go all the way down. I want it to still be connected. So the best way to do that is to open it up just like this, and here is my score line. Okay, let me zoom in just a little bit so you can see. Okay, so here's my score line. I'm actually going to fold these over, and I'm going to stick this in. But this is just going to go, the edge of this is going to go right up to the end of these flaps here. Okay, and I'm going to run this through. Sorry about the squeaking, it's old. Okay, there we go. Now if you do that, if you only put it up to where you want it to go, it will only cut up that far. See? So since I cut it on the wrong side, and if you do that as well, don't worry, I'm going to show you a way to fix it. Because what is a better opportunity than to show you how to fix something if I mess it up myself, right? Right. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and still cut these off, and I'm doing that right at the score line. Okay, so the easiest way to fix this is it was supposed to go in like this and over like this, but that would be the reversed stitching side, and I don't want that. I want this nice side. So fold them backwards and burnish them the other way. Right? Easiest fix ever, because no one's gonna know. Here we go. And then just flip it this way and ta-da! It's on the right side now. So now we can decorate. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to put that aside. I'm going to grab all my pieces that I told you about before. So my patterned and my one white, 3 5/8 by 3 5/8. And I'm going to grab my 3 3/4 by 3 3/4 crumb cake paper. So I'm just going to attach all of these to the crumb cake. There we go. And this one. And our white one. So we have to have space to write, and I mean, granted, this is white, but that doesn't look very fun now, does it? There we go. So I'm just going to go ahead and stick this one in the middle right away, just to get it out of my way. So I'm going to open this up, and this one is going to go smack dab in the middle here. Okay. So now I have to decide where I want my other pieces to go. Now I already know that I want this little fellow on the front. Okay, and I already know that I want this little fellow to go here. And then I'm going to stick this little dude inside. That way we have them kind of everywhere. So I'm going to remove this. I think I'm going to put this one on the inside with my little train choo-choo guy. There we go. And I'm going to stick this one on the outside. But before I do that, this flap is not going to lay down. No matter how many times you burnish it, it's not going to lay down. So I have some of these magnets. I just got them on Amazon, and I have them, I actually have them on the list below for you. And I'm just going to put some glue right there and set that down. There we go. And then I'm going to go ahead and put my last piece of pattern paper layer on over the top. There we are. And now I can put, whoops, not a minus, we need a plus. Here we go. So now I can lay this one down, and amazingly enough, watch, it goes right to it with absolutely zero issues, even through all of this cardstock and paper. It's amazing. I love it. But just to make sure that it stays, I'm going to put a little bit of glue on there. And then let it find its way again, because they will connect to each other no matter where I put it. They will be attracted, so it just finds its way automatically. So I'm going to let that dry. And I have a couple of pieces of cardstock. This is crumb cake, and this again is white. And this is cut out with the scalloped circles, or pierced scalloped circles, and this is cut out with the double stitched circles. And of course I will have everything down below for you, and I am just going to find the right side of my stitching, and I'm going to stick this on here. Now if you wanted to, you could stick, this has the scalloped or the rewind. This has the double-stitched rectangles that will fit right in here. But I decided I didn't want a whole lot of pattern paper. I just kind of wanted this. So I'm going to put this on with some 3D foam. There we go. Put that on with some 3D foam. Make sure that that is nice and covered. You can't even see the magnet now. And I'm going to put this little guy on with some 3D foam. Just a couple pieces. There we go. Now I do have some of these little clouds, okay? And this is the row of clouds die. This one was longer, but I used it on my mother-in-law's card. So I'm going to actually cut this one. I rounded that one, and I'm going to round, let's see, I'm going to round this one. There we are, because we don't need all of them. I just want a couple. So I'm going to go ahead and put some glue on that one. And I'm going to stick this right behind him. And then I'm going to put some glue on this one. And stick this one right behind him as well. There we are. So this one, I'm going to go ahead and put glue all the way across. Maybe I'll put, do I want to put some dimension on that? Yes, we do. Why not? So I need to figure out which ones need dimension. So this one, this one, this one, and part of that one. So I'm going to take these off. Whoops, I keep moving my paper. I'm so sorry. So, and then I'm going to go ahead and it's going to stick itself down. Go ahead and put those on, and then I'm just going to flip this over and trim those clouds right off from the back side. There we go. See, nice and easy. So now I have this little tag, and this little tag is actually from the Photo Elements. And I'm going to use my Hero Arts Hero ink. What do I do with that? Here it is. And I'm going to grab Adventure Sentiment out of the stamp set. And my block. And I'm going to stick this just sideways because it will fit that way. Go ahead and get that inked up. I'm going to stamp that down just to make sure it's going to stamp the way I want it to. And there we go. Adventure. So I'm going to set that aside and punch this little thing out. And I'm going to grab my there we are. And I'm going to go ahead and just pull that through. And then I'm going to put a dimensional on the back of that because otherwise it'll flop all over the place, and we don't want that happening now, do we? So I'm going to put that down. And I'm going to put this, whoops, I'm going to put this tag right here, and then I'm going to take it and I'm going to put it around this circle. And I'm going to leave, or you know what? No, I'm not. I am just going to go ahead and tie it just like this and pull that down a little bit. And I'm going to cut that off right there because I know my son will really like it having that on there. So there is our front. So now, granted, he's going to have to pull this up a little bit to escape that little tag. I should move that a little bit. Nice thing about Irina's paper is while it's sticky, you have a couple of minutes to move stuff, which is awesome. So there, we just have to move it just a little bit. And there we go. Thank goodness I remembered that that was there and I had to like not tie that around. Goodness. So now I can, the inside we don't want quite as bulky with dimension. So I am just going to sit this little dude right here. And now to do these ones. I do have a sentiment that I want to stick right here, but I forgot. Oh, no, I did not forget. Here is my travel from the Luggage Die that I want to stick right there. My son isn't quite sure what he wants to do when he grows up. Well, he's 14, but you guys know what I mean. So he's talked about being a pilot. So that's why I put this little guy on here. He's talked about working on a train or on ships. So there's that. And then he's also talked about wanting to go to space. But what boy doesn't want to go to space, right? So we have this little cat. So now I'm going to grab my other pieces. And remember, these ones here are 3 3/4 by 1 3/4. And these are 3 5/8 by 1 5/8. So I'm going to go ahead and get all of these adhered to each other. Okay, and there's the last one. So I want it to be, I don't want it to be just like all stripes, all polka dots right here and then stripes on the inside. So I'm actually, for a little bit of variety, I'm going to stick my stripes on the outside here, on the outside 2 panels. And let's see, yep, that's the way I want them to go. If you're using stripes or anything like that, make sure that you have them the way you want them to go before you actually lay them down. Especially if you're using a strong adhesive. And then I'm going to put the polka dot panels on the inside. There we are. So these 2 panels I actually cut out because we have red on some of our little things. So I grabbed my stitched Zig Zag dies, which it comes with 3 different sizes, but I just cut out these 2 here. So I grabbed some of these. And I'm just going to do the same thing I did with the clouds. And I could probably just, right like that. So I'm going to put these on one side, not both sides at the same time, because I would probably mess it up and glue the whole thing together. So I'm going to do that side. And then I'm going to cut this off And I can probably cut it off the back a little bit too. I think I hung it over. There we are. So there's one. And then I can go ahead and put this one on and try and just match that up. There we go. And then I can just cut it off on the back side. So here we go. That's all nice and down, looking very boyish, which is lots of fun. So now I have, the last dies that I have are these very delicate, because I did it on like kind of like a crinkle kind of paper, are these stars. And I wanted to put these on, if I can even pick them up, for the little astronaut kitty cat. So I'm going to put some liquid glue on those the best I can, because this paper is very, very thin. This is kind of like crepe paper stuff. Stick that on there. And then I'm going to stick my kitty on. Or maybe, should I put the kitty right here? Ooh, I think I will. I'm going to put my kitty right there. And then I'll just put the stars on the outside here. Here we go. Okay, so this is a lot of glue, and these are really filigree, with these filigree stars. So I'm gonna let this dry a minute before I actually close this. Okay, they're even sticking to my fingers. And here is our last one. And that, my friends, is not only how you make the triple flap fold card, but also how I decorated one for my son. And this looks dry, so I'm going to go ahead and close it. And there we go. How much fun is that? So there is one last thing I wanted to do, now that I remember it, is I wanted to put the sentiment on here that it is a wonderful world. That way he knows that he can be anything he wants to be. Here we go. And I'm going to put it right down here so that I can, whoops, that one stuck. So that I can write at the top for him. And I love the fonts on this stamp set. There we go. There we go. It is a wonderful world with travel and adventure. So here we go. Now it is all done and we are ready, or I'm ready to give it to him. So I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and I hope to see you guys making some too. I will see you soon. Bye now.